And welcome back live inside Delaware Live Sports Weekly. We are back home at our Christiana location here at Buffalo Wild Wings. Nick Alessandrini joined tonight by Mike Lang, Benny Mitchell, and Jason Winchell. So a nice crew, guys. We're back getting into the flow of things. Some great matchups over the weekend. We'll get to those here in just a few minutes. And also a special shout out and hello to all our viewers on DETV, Channel 28 here. Guys, we're on television now. We've hit some TV.
Jeez.
So,
we're big time now.
That's right. We're big time now. We're getting it out there. So, again, you can check us out on YouTube as well as Channel 28 up and down Newcastle County, Kent, and Sussex County all the way down. So if you got Xfinity, Channel 28, you can catch us now here on Wednesday nights. But, guys, before we dive into some of these recaps, how are we feeling? We're getting into the fall. Weather's starting to change a little bit, getting a little bit chillier. Jason, great to see you for the first time in a long time here on a Wednesday.
Yeah, no, it's been since August since I've been on the show. So it's great to be back and talking some football. I mean, some great matchups last week and even some better ones this week.
And Benny making the trip up north for you again.
That's
here
right,
on a
not
Wednesday.
too
How
cool,
was the traffic on the way here?
Traffic up was great. Traffic from Concord High School to here was crazy. Just, it was like being in a parking lot. But hey, it's coming fall. Still in flip-flops. Still got another month to go. Still wearing the beach apparel, yeah.
That's right. Benny and Mike still all shorts here as we get into the fall season.
And, Benny, if I'd known you were going to be at Concord, I would have asked you to stop by the house and let my dog out before you came down here. And then you could take a 495 and probably zipped a little closer.
Right.
But it's all good. Nick, we're ready. Got some guests here. We're ready to go. This is going to be a fun one.
Action-packed show ahead of the big matchup on Friday night between Archmere and Caravel. Both teams in the house sitting behind us tonight. We're going to have a chance to talk with both of them here in just a little bit. But, guys, let's first recap what we got a chance to see over the weekend with our 3 games of the week. And, Mike, let's just start with one we had on Thursday, St. Mark's and Red Lion. Both teams, again, a rematch of a playoff game last year as well as a regular season matchup. These two teams knew each other pretty well coming in, expected to be a battle. Some early turnovers and miscues for Red Lion kind of set them back. St. Mark's was able to take advantage, a big win for the Spartans on the road. Yeah,
it's always nice to win on the road. I was surprised, and Nick, you were there with me doing that game, just how young Red Lion is. I thought they would throw a little bit more than they did, but they hung for a while. But St. Mark's is just too much for them. I mean, the Campbell brothers hooked up twice for touchdowns. I think Logan Klein scored a touchdown, and then James Campbell ran one in. So just a little too much St. Mark's, just too big for Red Lion. But it was a good game. It was fun. Just kind of got away from Red Lion there a little bit. But a lot of talent on that Lions team. Congratulations to St. Mark's. They improved to 2-1, and they have Caesar Rodney at the Graveyard on Friday night.
Yeah, and St. Mark's moving up to Class 3 this year. Red Lion been in the back half of the rankings here in the last few weeks of Class 2. Very talented team over there at Red Lion. St. Mark's, though, got the best of them on Thursday. A big win for the Spartans, as we mentioned. And then also, Benny, a game that you had a chance to check out. Sussex Central hosting DMA. DMA taking the trip down south.
Yeah, DMA without Odell Teal, Sussex Central without Malik Bell. I thought it was going to turn into a defensive game. First half wasn't like that. DMA takes the opening kickoff, boom, drives 65 yards, punches one in for a touchdown, and you're thinking, okay, this game's going to change a little bit. It's not what we were expecting. But what they say about the ensuing kickoff, something bad's going to happen. And Sam Pucci returns it inside the 20, and then it was all Kayvon Moore-Burdell after that. 2 short run touchdowns, but all game long, he has never played in the backfield in his high school career. And Coach Wells said, with Malik Bell out, you're going to have to step up and carry some load. And, boy, load did he carry. I think he only rushed for like 70 yards, but that was on like 15, 16 carries. He was bruising back there. So first half, man, we're thinking, okay, we're going to have a high-scoring game here. Lights out on both teams. I think Central fumbled the first play of the opening possession in the second half. Neither team could get it going, and it was Joaquin Escobar Gonzalez 25-yard field goal, and that was the second half scoring. And I talked to Coach Wells afterwards. Like I said, it doesn't matter how you win as long as you win. And they get the win over DMA. And he said DMA is going to be a tough out in AA. He said they are a very good football team.
Yeah, not knew what to expect. New coaching staff coming in this year for DMA. So some new names there. And again, they've been playing pretty well to start here in 2023. That's a tough test to go down there and take on Sussex Central down at the Castle in that one. One more game to round out the weekend recap. And, guys, that's one that Glenn Frazier had the honor of calling. Appoquinimink and St. George's, who we had on the show last Wednesday night. And this one, guys, was another good one. This one heading late into the fourth quarter, decided by an Appo touchdown late. Nielsen scored twice for Appoquinimink. Montgomery scored. Glover with a 6-yard run for Appo as well. But a late win for the Appoquinimink Jaguars, guys. They get one late after a tough matchup the week before against Dover there. Just takeaways from Appo's win over a very good St. George's team in a battle in Middletown. Mike, Jason, any thoughts there?
It's a big win. You know, we talk about this every week. I think the last 4 playoff spots in 3A are going to come down to 8 teams. And Appo's one of them, and St. George's is one of them. So when you can get that head-to-head victory, very important, and to protect their home field, which they did, was very key. But that's how it's going to be, I think, with when those 8 teams in 3A start playing head-to-head. You have to win those games because I think those are going to determine who gets those final 4 spots in 3A.
Yeah, and it's going to be a fun show here the rest of the way. Again, we have Caravel. We have Archmere ahead of Friday night's big-time matchup that you can catch right here on Delaware Live Sports. We're going to take our first break of the evening here. When we come back, we'll be joined by one of those programs here up on the desk at Buffalo Wild Wings Christiana. We'll be right back on DLS Weekly.
The things that matter most happen right in our own backyard. Our neighbors, our schools, the places we go, and the people we know. And now there's one news outlet where our story is told. Delaware Live. Locally owned, community-based news. Free to every reader, because Delaware's future belongs to all of us. Quality journalism we can trust to help us take on the day. Delaware Live. Our state, our news, our home.
Your home, your community. It's not just where you live, it's where you belong. At Dover Federal Credit Union, we understand what it means to be local. We started here, and we're not going anywhere. We're as local as it gets, and we like it that way. We're not just a financial institution, we are the local credit union that you can trust. Local people, local decisions. Dover Federal Credit Union. Your home, your community. It's not just where you live, it's where you belong. At Dover Federal Credit Union, we understand what it means to be local. We started here, and we're not going anywhere. We're as local as it gets, and we like it that way. We're not just a financial institution, we are the local credit union that you can trust. Local people, local decisions. Dover Federal Credit Union.
Welcome to Premier Physical Therapy and Sports Performance. We're a locally owned outpatient physical therapy practice with convenient locations in all 3 counties in Delaware. At Premier, we have experienced physical therapists with advanced credentials, but their hospitality, passion, and enthusiasm is what makes the difference for you. Find our convenient locations at premierptsp.com.
You may have tried physical therapy,
But have you tried Premier?
And welcome back inside Delaware Live Sports Weekly. Nick Alessandrini alongside Mike Lang here on YouTube and Channel 28 on your local cable box. And, of course, now we're joined by the Archmere Hawks football program, Coach John Belace and company. Coach, really appreciate you taking the time to join us tonight. And, guys, thank you as well. If you just want to walk through and introduce yourselves and let everybody know who we're talking to.
I'm Drew Duncan, senior receiver.
Jack Delos, senior D-line, O-line. Cole Vanese, senior linebacker, running back, punter.
Somebody hiding in the back.
Oh. PJ Blessington, senior ATH.
ATH, man. He's ATH.
There you go. We appreciate that. Thank you guys again for joining us. And we're going to start, as we always do, here at Buffalo Wild Wings. And you guys are here, I'm sure, maybe put some orders in for some food. And we might have had you here before. But what's your go-to menu item? What is your go-to order here at Buffalo Wild Wings when you come to get some dinner? Guys, you can head around. It could be, wings and give your favorite flavor or whatever you go with.
Probably it's just some mild boneless wings.
Yeah, I'm a big boneless wing guy. Usually, I'm a big honey barbecue guy. It's my go-to.
Dude, that's what I like, Drew.
Gotta go traditional, garlic parm, maybe some mild, hot, I don't know.
There you go. Another good one.
Come on in here.
Traditional garlic parm.
Garlic parm.
And Coach, not off the hook. Let's see, what's your go-to order?
Well, I'm just going to go hot. I mean, as hot as I can handle that. That's what I want. So.
There you go. Yeah, that's our first one of the year. As hot as you can handle, Coach. We appreciate you guys. And again, so far 1-2 this year with a win over St. E's, 2 close losses to St. Mark's and Newark. Coach, just a little summary and of what your season has been like so far, and again, what's it been like with these guys?
Sure. Well, it's been great with the seniors. We've gotten great senior leadership from these guys, but definitely, still working on coming together and reaching that potential. Obviously, 2 close losses, but they were educational in terms of this is what we need to do. This is how we have to improve to get where we want to be. But so far, the seniors have really led the way for us, getting great contributions from them, and have some young guys that are getting great opportunities to step up and play a role for us.
Hey, guys, you've had a very experienced group. You're all seniors, obviously. Miles stepping in at quarterback this year. PJ and Cole doing some running. And Drew, you're one of the key receivers. And what's it been like trying to mix some new positions? And I know you guys have been running backs before, but really stepping into the limelight. And you just comment on the job that Miles has done at quarterback, too.
Yeah, I think it has a lot to do with the chemistry that we had previous years, right? We had a great quarterback who we had a lot of seasons with, and I think right now the main key that we're trying to get together is staying after practice together, working on timing, routes, just kind of making sure that we're still building around each other and not necessarily, I wouldn't say we're not trying to be like anybody else. We're trying to form our own game and trying to still figure out what that is.
Jack, you talk about the defense a little bit, some of the a little assessment of the early season for the Archmere D.
Yeah, I think the defense has been good, but we haven't worked up to our full potential yet. But, up front, we have 3 great guys. Linebackers are awesome. Secondary is awesome. So I think once we work up to that potential, we could be the best in the state.
Yeah, and Coach, obviously, let's take now a look ahead here to Friday night and a big matchup with the Caravel Bucks. Offense can put up some points. Defense very good as well. What challenges do the Caravel Bucks present for you guys on Friday?
Well, Caravel is an exceptional team. Solid at every single position, straight down the line, well coached, very physical. And I think the first challenge is with them is they're not going to beat themselves, so you can't beat yourself. So the first thing is you have to play mistake-free football, because they are going to play mistake-free football. So they're going to make you beat them, and you have to go out there and play fundamentally sound and match that physical challenge, because they're definitely going to come to play.
And guys, same question to you now. What are you guys looking to see out of your teammates, out of each other? What do you guys need to do on Friday to have success on the field?
I think it kind of goes back to like we said, we're coming off of 2 hard losses. I think the one thing that we've been talking about all week and talked about pregame huddles, after practice talks, is we just want to see us bounce back, right? We just want to come out hard, playing with nothing to lose, and just come out there and put up a good fight.
Anybody else?
Yeah. I think for us to have a successful game this Friday, it's going to take a lot of us just doing our job, trusting one another, and just not trying to do too much, but just do your part. I think everything else is going to come together, and you just got to believe in each other and trust us.
Hey, guys, looking at your schedule, obviously you played St. Mark's and Newark back-to-back here, and you got Caravel. Just looking at DMA on the road, then you're home from Mount at Tower, at Howard, and you finish up with Odessa and Friends. First off, 4 Friday night games in the next 5 weeks. Coach, a little different for you guys. Not used to be a night owls up there at Archmere. Maybe one of the players wants to comment about, do you like playing at night? Do you kind of welcome that, or are you guys kind of like 11 a.m. type of guys?
I'd say it's definitely a better atmosphere. I'd rather play at night, but
yeah, I think it's just kind of what you dream as kind of a kid. Friday night lights, everybody, the stands are going to be packed, people are going to be cheering, student section's going crazy. I think that's just kind of what you live for playing football. Those are kind of the games that you dream about playing. That's what you look forward to. Those are the games you kind of circle on your schedule that, those get you fired up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely, I'll play anytime, but Friday night's always fun, so.
Sounds like there's a campaign to get lights here for Coach.
Hey, I went through that. We didn't get lights at St. Mark's till my senior year. Right, so we had all day games too. I know what that's like.
Let me get Dave on the line. I'll take care of it.
I got his number.
I got his number too.
And Coach, now you mentioned a few things, right? You said you can't beat yourselves, you can't have miscues on your end. Is there maybe another area specifically on Friday night, an area of the game that you're paying extra attention to that you think could pay dividends for your team, or just a spot that could control the game this weekend?
Well, for me, I'm a lineman guy, so for me it always starts up front. And I think the first thing I want to see is us meet the challenge in the trenches. Second thing, and I know it's simple, but when you're playing a team that has the explosiveness and the weapons they have, you have to tackle. And the tackling has to be secure, because if you miss the tackle, they're going to make you pay for it. So I think for me, it goes back to that fundamental, blocking, tackling. I know that's a boring answer, but it also is a true answer when you're playing a team that has the ability that Caravel has.
And now, guys, over to you as well. Is there anything that you guys have been working on this week at practice, or something that you think is going to be a focal point Friday night that could be, make or break or success on in the field there?
I think definitely the thing we've been really trying to emphasizing this week has been just like showing more intensity. These past couple of games, we really haven't been ourselves. We all know we're capable of way more than that, and we're really excited to just show Caravel what we're about this week.
Yeah, and one last thing, something that we kind of were talking about, like Cole touched on earlier, is kind of knowing our assignments, right? I think a lot of times when we've made mistakes is when we've kind of gone against what our coaches have been teaching us and what they've been preaching to us throughout camp and the first 2 weeks. I think if we do we have great coaches, they know how to put us in the right places. If we trust them and do the right thing, I think that's kind of one of the key things that's going to help us this week.
I would say the most important thing this Friday is focusing on playing selflessly and playing for the man next to you.
There you go.
So I don't know who the salesman is among this group here, but if you were talking to your fellow classmates out there watching online or on DETV, why they should come out to Caravel on Friday night and make the trip down to support you guys. Oh, it's like Jack said he's going to take a shot at it.
It's Friday night. You don't have anything better to do. There's no football on, so it's going to be a great atmosphere. You should come down.
That's right. Again, there is nothing better you can do.
That's right.
And we'll see you Friday night at Caravel Academy. And guys, again,
we
got one more question. Can't let you go without this one here. We talked about it. Big matchup, prime time right here on Friday night against Caravel on Delaware Live Sports. You got your headphones in, right ahead of kickoff, music's blasting. You get one song choice ahead of kickoff Friday night. You got to get ready to go. And Coach, you're included in this. As you know, you've been here before. What's your go-to song choice here ahead of kickoff in a big one on Friday night? Guys, we'll start with you guys.
Who's starting us off? I'll go You Shook Me All Night by AC/DC.
That's our first Shook Me All Night for the year. Gotta like that. There we go. Yeah, starting off strong.
I would say The Pretender by Foo Fighters.
Yeah, that is a good one.
I'll go Foo Fighters, so I'll go Everlong by Foo Fighters.
Double Foo Fighters. You gotta like that.
Dave
Cole?
will be happy.
Go Not Afraid by Eminem.
Eminem.
right.
There you go. Cole, shout out to Nick McGinley, Cole. I know he's a big friend of mine. So shout out to Nick. And Coach, what do you think? What do you listen to? What's your go-to?
Well, I might just go with their playlist. That was actually pretty good. I'm always going to go, if I have to, I'm going with something heavier. So we're going with Rage Against the Machine or something along those lines. So, that's what we're doing.
That's going to be keep an ear out for that on the speakers. They're coming out on the bus ride over on Friday for Coach and his guys. Thank you, Coach. Really appreciate it. Guys, thank you so much for joining us here on a Wednesday night. Catch them live in action Friday against Caravel at Caravel right here on Delaware Live Sports. Really appreciate the Archmere Ox. Everyone here, Christiana, Buffalo Wild Wings. We're going to take another break. We come back. Caravel Bucks coming on right around the corner right here on DLS Weekly.
Don't go anywhere.
First State Orthopedic statewide has 29 physicians at 16 locations. Our physicians and staff provide both non-surgical as well as surgical treatment for almost all orthopedic conditions and injuries. We are specially trained in the current state-of-the-art techniques. We serve as team physician and orthopedic consultant for over 20 high schools, Wilmington University, and many local recreational and competitive leagues. Our doctors are readily available to the local emergency departments as well as medical aid units and urgent care centers for consultation and treatment. Call for an appointment today or visit us at firststateortho.com. First State Orthopedic statewide has 29 physicians at 16 locations.
Signs, banners, and promotional items that can help your business stand out from the rest. Looking for an excellent way to convey a professional image? Customized promotional products are the perfect way to target new customers, increase employee retention, and boost your brand awareness. Let the professionals at Cassidy Graphics bring your advertising ideas to life. Give them a call today at 302-326-2412. Again, that number is 302-326-2412. Again, Cassidy Graphics brings your advertising ideas to life. Wraps, signs, banners, and promotional items that can help your business stand out from the rest. Looking for an excellent way to convey a professional image? Customized promotional products are the perfect way to target new customers, increase employee retention, and boost your brand awareness. Let the professionals at Cassidy Graphics bring your advertising ideas to life. Give them a call today at 302-326-2412. Again, that number is 302-326-2412. Again, Cassidy Graphics brings your advertising ideas to life. Wraps,
And welcome back live inside DLS Weekly. Nick Alessadrini alongside Mike Lang here, Christiana, Buffalo Wild Wings. Special thanks to Archmere, the Hawks coming on, and now we have a chance to be joined by your top-ranked team here in Class 2, the Caravel Buccaneers. Guys, really appreciate you taking the time on a Wednesday to come and chat with us here at B-Dubs. And if we just go around, introduce yourselves, and we'll start with Coach, and then we'll dive right in.
Coach Devane, I actually am the special teams coach, and I also assisted linebackers and assistant running backs.
Craig Miller, halfback, fullback, and linebacker.
Bryce McKinnon, linebacker and tight end.
Trey Hamlin, DB and wide receiver.
Jordan Miller, running back and outside linebacker.
Oh, we appreciate it. Yeah, thanks again, guys. And, Coach, we love our linebackers on this program, so we're great to have you here as well. And, guys, as always, we're going to start as we always do. If you guys have seen the show before, we're here at B-Dubs, and we're going to ask you your go-to menu item here, whether that be a wing and a sauce, or we've had burgers. Mozzarella sticks has been an answer before. So whatever you guys are thinking, what's your go-to menu item? What order did you place here before you came up onto the desk here?
Just a little traditional honey barbecue wings. They always get the job done.
Yes, they do.
I go with boneless, 10 boneless wings, lemon pepper, dry rub.
There you go. And I like the number count right there, 10 count. So you let us know specifically. That's good.
I'm a kind of Asian zing kind of guy. Make 10, 15, depends on how I'm feeling.
10 count, honey barbecue, just like
so there you go, 10 counts around. And Coach, what about you? Not off the hook. What's your go-to?
Hey, listen, I'm a Buffalo guy. Buffalo hot.
The dry seasoning or the sauce?
Sauce.
That's right. Loaded up. There you have it here. Caravel, top. That's how the top team in Class 2A eats, everybody. So if you're watching at home.
Very specific. Attention to detail.
That's right. And, Coach, off to a successful season. Obviously, as we just mentioned, top-ranked team, undefeated here to start 2023. What has kind of been your keys to success, and what have you seen so far out of these guys?
Well, Coach Reed is a guy, a coach that's been around for a while. Coach is entering, I think, his 16th season. And Coach is a detail guy, you know. He plays the best 22, and this year is no different. And the guys have worked hard, and we continue to play and focus on fundamental football. You know, we like to say that we concentrate on all three phases of the game: offense, defense, and of course, special teams.
There you go. It's ingrained. There's the culture.
That's right.
That's right. That's right. So, no, the coach does a great job with the youngsters. And, you know, the biggest thing for us is really just taking and understanding you're only as good as your last win. And, you know, we're playing a very good opponent with a rich tradition in winning. And we know that we're up for a real battle this week. So, you know, it's just back to the basics and the fundamentals for us.
And guys, now over to you as well. Similar things you guys have seen so far. What have you seen out of each other that you think has helped with this 3-0 or undefeated start, I should say?
just making sure we hold each other accountable. Accountability is a big thing on our team, and make sure everybody's doing their own job.
I say like practice is not just like starters giving it all. Even our second, not really even second team, because they still play to our scout team. They give us a look and make us better to have us perform in game.
Guys, anybody else?
No.
Yeah, go ahead.
So we had a chance to see you guys against Hodgson. Really impressive team with the two Millers in the backfield. What's it like? You guys are on top. You obviously have the target on your back. Is that? And you were in the championship game last year, and you're back this year. You know, what kind of motivation has that been? Being making the championship game last year, and B, knowing everybody's gunning for Caravel. Is that kind of driving you guys?
We're just taking everything game by game. We try not to look back in the past, and we're just going 1 week at a time.
Yeah, you know, in order to get to the championship, we got to go game by game. So we never try to look too far ahead. Every week, just know our assignment and look one game at a time. I feel like that helps us throughout the season.
And Coach, coming back is, you know, we talked about it, made that game last year, but a lot of guys returning, some veterans now, some leaders in the locker room back for you this year. How has that kind of helped maybe the transition from last year's team into the success early this year?
Well, first and foremost, our seniors, we look for their leadership, and we have a great group of seniors this year. They really lead, and the others follow. They set a standard, as Bryce already said, as they hold guys accountable, and that's big in our locker room. We believe that as our seniors go, as our team goes, and I think that understanding that whenever teams come to Caravel, they're going to give us their best shot, because you know, when you're the best, you gotta be able to hold that standard.
So you guys started off with Howard, the game that we streamed. Then you were at Laurel last week. Don't know much about the George School, but you know, I imagine you have DMA later in the season in Red Lion. Playing that tough schedule, number one, it's going to prepare you guys for the postseason. And Coach, looking at the tournament structure this year, only the division winners are guaranteed spots in the tournament. So, you know, how do you guys look at that schedule as preparing you for the postseason?
Well, I'll just start off by saying, I mean, you know, for us, you know, we started off with playing we will have played 4 playoff teams. Mm-hmm. And, you know, when you're preparing for battle, preparing for a long season, going out and playing some of the best teams in the state early help you to kind of set your journey. And this year we want to we really look at what we've done so far and what we plan on doing as really the blueprint for us moving forward and trying to continue to have a successful season and to hopefully be able to get back to the playoffs and eventually the championship.
Now, guys, let's talk a little bit about Friday's matchup here with Archmere. You can catch that one live, everyone at home, here on Delaware Live Sports. What are your guys' keys to victory? What do you guys need to see out of each other? What have you been working on maybe this week, or just something that you need to see on Friday night to have success at home on that field against a tough Archmere team?
Archmere is a really tough team. We just got to make sure every single person on the team is doing their 1/11th, and everybody's doing their own job.
Just like last year, it's going to be a fight. It's going to be a dog fight. But we just got to stick together. We're going to face some adversity, but it's all about how you come back from it and how you keep going forward.
Pretty much going off what Bryce and Trey just said, you know, staying together. Archmere's a really disciplined team, so we got to make sure we do our assignment, like Bryce said, our 1/11th, and that should help us throughout the game.
I feel like it's really about us staying together, kind of like what they said. You know, we have something that's special about our team is that we have a very strong bond that keeps us together, and as long as we stay together throughout the game, we should be good.
Yes, as the fellas already said, I mean, Archmere has a rich tradition, very well coached, disciplined, right? And even though they're coming off the 2 losses, I know that they're going to come to Caravel with their very best game. So we're not taking we take no games for granted anyhow, but we know that what Archmere has done in the past, you know, we have to be ready and prepared. Our guys each week prepare as if we're playing, you know, a championship team. So, you know, it'd be no different this week as we prepare to go to battle on Friday night.
Absolutely. We asked the Archmere players this: if you guys usually get pretty good support from your fellow students, but if you had to do a sales job and tell them why they should come out on Friday night. You just look out there and tell them why they should be in the stands on Friday night.
Camera 3, right there, looking right at you. Give him the solo shot, Nick.
I don't know who the salesman is here. Maybe Bryce.
Hey, everybody needs to come out on Friday night because it's going to be a great game. Both teams are phenomenal on both sides of the ball, and it's going to be an absolute dogfight.
Bryce, you're not getting any piece of the ticket there. The no commission.
You never know nowadays.
That's
you never
true.
know. There's a lot going on.
Yeah, it's
but
possible.
guys,
NIL. No.
as we're here again Friday night, we're going to just transport, get your mind right now. It's Friday night. You're about to head out onto the field, or maybe you're out in the field. You got the AirPods in, headphones in. You get one song to get you ready right before kickoff. What's that one song that's going to get you going to have a good game on Friday night, guys?
Anything Lil Baby gets me going.
There we go, Lil Baby.
We're going to go with 2 a.m. by King Von.
King Von.
Middle Child by J. Cole.
J. Cole.
Like he said, Lil Baby, something to prove.
You got still a specific Lil Baby there?
I'm going to go with Eye of the Tiger.
There we go. I can't miss on any of those. Well, guys, we really appreciate your time, and good luck on Friday night. It's going to be a great game, and thanks for coming and hanging out with us here on a Wednesday night. Caravel Bucks again. Archmere and Caravel are going to go at it in Bear on Friday night. You can catch that game right here on Delaware Live Sports. We're going to take our last break. We come back. We're going to get to our rankings, talk a little other football, performers of the week, and top plays heading around or just around the corner here on DLS and DETV. We'll be right back.
High Five Hospitality, founded in 2004 when three guys teamed up to introduce the Buffalo Wild Wings franchise to Delaware. To date, they operate 8 Buffalo Wild Wings in Delaware and Maryland. Also the Stone Balloon and Limestone Barbecue. And let's not forget Eggspectation and 5 Jersey Mikes throughout Delaware. High Five Hospitality's mission is to operate 5 brands that serve high-quality products with exceptional hospitality. High Five Hospitality, founded in 2004 when three guys teamed up to introduce the Buffalo Wild Wings franchise to Delaware. To date, they operate 8 Buffalo Wild Wings in Delaware and Maryland. Also the Stone Balloon and Limestone Barbecue. And let's not forget Eggspectation and 5 Jersey Mikes throughout Delaware. High Five Hospitality's mission is to operate 5 brands that serve high-quality products with exceptional hospitality. High Five Hospitality, founded in...
Turn your vision into a reality with Capstone Homes Design Center, bringing personalization, luxury, and quality all into one location, where you'll meet with our certified design consultant that'll show you exactly what you're choosing, so you can make the best choice for you when designing your new home. From first home to vacation houses, we build and design homes for everyone. Set up your appointment now and design your dream home today at Capstone Homes.
Hi, I'm Scott Kammerer from Soto Concepts. Today we're at Fish On in the Villages of 5 Points. Come check us out. Fish On is committed to serving beautiful, simple coastal cuisine in a cool atmosphere with a happening bar, spacious dining room, and outside patio. Popular dishes include the seafood stew and fresh oysters from the raw bar. Fish On's recently renovated event room and is the perfect spot for your next event. Fish On in Lewis in the Villages of 5 Points, open 7 days a week, best happy hour around. See you soon. Hi, I'm Scott Kammerer from Soto.
Welcome back live inside DLS Weekly right here on 302 Sports YouTube channel, as well as DETV Channel 28. Nick Alessandrini now joined back up by Mike Lang, Benny Mitchell, and Jason Winchell. Special thanks and shout out to Archmere and Caravel, two big-time programs going to be going at it Friday night at Caravel Academy in one of our games of the week, First Aid Orthopedics games of the week. I'm a company man, everyone, and now let's take a dive and talk about some of these games we had last week, and then we'll turn the corner and look ahead to some of the matchups coming this week. There were some big ones, as I just mentioned, over the weekend that kind of changed the Super Sevens, the kind of the outlook going forward, guys. Which result surprised you the most? I'm just going to toss this out into the open here. Anybody have a result that surprised you the most from this past weekend?
Probably the one that surprised me the most was Sally's over Smyrna by the way they handled. I mean, Smyrna did not score until the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and we were texting, and we were kind of saying, I was like, how does Smyrna look, et cetera? You were like, it's hard to tell.
Sally's had the good game plan defensively. They kind of forced Smyrna into small chunks of yardage. Smyrna's a big play team. It seemed like Sally's was letting them throw the underneath passes and then making them tackle, the one-on-one tackles. I thought Coach Warlow had a fabulous game plan on defensively, and then offensively, Aline changes games. I mean, he just, he turned a couple small gains into like 8 or 9 yarders, and then you move the chain. And one good thing to help out the defense when you're playing Smyrna is your own ball control. I thought Sally's did that well. I guess we were trying to figure if Sally's was going to be into that mix. A win over Smyrna starts it. Yeah. It don't get any easier this week when they travel to Dover. And then, Middletown coming in. But we'll kind of see where they are. But that win over Smyrna puts them easily in May as one of the 4 teams that are probably going to, no worries to make a state tournament.
Yeah, big win for them. To kick off, I guess you can't say kick off, but to start the Gene Deladon era down at Sally's. Big win over his first matchup with Smyrna. Benny, any matchups you thought that will change Super 7 or just maybe key takeaways from the weekend?
Not the surprise of the end result, but how much Caravel controlled Laurel, held Laurel to a field goal.
Yeah, it's a good football team, too.
Field goal, yeah. So a couple injuries, but, they just shut the Laurel offense down. I've never seen that happen before, not in the last 3
couple
years.
Yeah.
And then, again, not surprised that Sally's won, but, again, how it went down. Smyrna's in some trouble when we started looking at the playoffs. They still are looking down the road to Middletown and Dover. Now, I'm not saying those are games they're going to lose, but they're not favored in them. So they lose those 2 games, they're 5-5. And maybe the points or the big opponents they've played is going to pull them through, but they're going to have some pressure for 7 straight weeks. And pressure does 2 things. It makes diamonds and it bursts pipes.
Which it will be.
Which is it going to be? Because they definitely, if they're to make a second run for a state title, they're going to have 7 straight weeks of pressure. And we'll see how they handle it.
I'm going to write
it's going to be tough.
Makes diamonds and bursts. Nick, I had a chance to go out and watch Delmar at Friends, and Ryan Tattersall. I'll make sure I say Ryan got Delmar's marching down the field on the opening drive, and Ryan Tattersall gets hurt on defense. Before Friends even gets the ball, they brought in Andrew McKenzie to play quarterback, and he's a running back. He ran for over 200 yards. He also threw the ball. He threw 2 touchdown passes. I thought he did a real good job, and I was really, really impressed with Friends. Another team like Archmere that lost a lot of seniors from last year to the defending champs. What a great job by McKenzie, and they shut Delmar out. It's not easy. Delmar's got some big kids on that team.
Maybe the senior biggest loss of any program here last year.
A great job by Andrew McKenzie and by the Friends, the whole team and the coaching staff. And it only rained for about 5 minutes. We were all worried about the rain, and we got a nice little window in there and got that game in. So congratulations to the Quakers. And I don't know if they were in our Super Sevens, and I haven't looked at this week, so we'll find out in a second.
That's right. We will dive into that a little bit later. Rain, again, came that Saturday night as well at the Delaware game, if you didn't know. So there was a lot of rain in Newark on Friday.
I gave my donation. I didn't fill my season.
On Saturday, Benny.
I didn't fill my season ticket seats on Saturday.
Did you look down from the press box for Benny?
Yeah, I was on the sideline round, so I was in the elements. I was in the elements looking up for Benny. In that case, big win for the Hens over New Hampshire heading into the bye week. This week. But Jay, the 3A state tournament race again had some key spots as we talked about. 8 teams going to be battling for those last 4 spots, as we had alluded to. What game this week you maybe is the most important for one team that's going to be looking ahead in that sense?
I think it's going to be St. George's Tech playing against
right.
William Penn at home. St. George's Tech has already lost two games that I called in that mix when they lost to Hodson and Apple. Here they got William Penn, who's 3-0, coming to home. William Penn is in that list of teams to beat. We'll find out more about William Penn this week too, but I think it's more important for St. George's to get that win at home against William Penn, because they're already 1-2 in those games. That means something. They beat St. Mark's on the road, but then lost to Hodson and Apple. So I think that it's more important for them to defend their home turf against William Penn, but it will also find out for the rest of us whether William Penn is 3-0 real, or it was more of the opponents they played those first 3 weeks.
Yeah, that's going to be a good one to look ahead to this weekend as well. And guys, another big one on the slate for this coming weekend. And Benny, I'll go to you for maybe a little bit about Dover, and then come back to you, Mike, for Sally's. And that's Dover-Sally's matchup Friday, 7:30. Benny, we had Dover on a few weeks ago when we were down there, and again, a lot of talent back, looking really good so far to kick off this year. Sally's coming off that big win over Smyrna. This is a prime time, or a big time matchup. What do you think Dover has to do to get a win over Salesianum Friday?
Kilby, Parker, Cosme. Kilby, Parker, Cosme. Kilby, Parker, Cosme. The three-headed monster. They got to get that train rolling. This is a big game. It's an exciting game, but I don't think either team, loss to either team, is a problem. I mean, these are 2 teams that are going to be 3 losses or less at the end, if that. These 2 teams, they're going to be in the playoffs unless there's a major injury or the wheels fall off the bus. This is just a great game and maybe a precursor to a state semifinal, state tournament game. But a loss for either team is not a big deal here on Friday night.
Yeah, it's going to be a big one, Mike. Now, from a Sally's perspective, coming off that big win over Smyrna, how do you stay even keel coming off of that big win, back to practice this week, and then showing out against another tough team in Dover on Friday night? What do the Sal's got to do?
Well, they got a key on Kilby,
Parker and Cosme.
They did a good job against Smyrna in preventing big plays. Jay mentioned it earlier. Smyrna had a couple of touchdowns. One was kind of a trick play, but it was a touchdown, 33 yards, and then I believe Tiberi threw the touchdown late in the game, a 40-yarder. So they've got to limit the big plays from Dover. I thought they had a couple penalties last week. They got to cut those out. And I love what I've seen from Paul Warlow and his defense so far. So that really, to me, you're looking at the three-headed monster for Dover against the Sally's is not an overwhelmingly big team, but they're smart. They know what they're doing out there, and they've got to execute. Somebody like Robbie Johnson on the end, if he can get it, cause some problems.
Two-sport athlete.
Yeah, Robbie's a good athlete, and but I think if they got to limit the big plays from Dover. So another week of doing that, and I think they had a few penalties last. I think they can knock out the penalties. They gave Smyrna 30 yards on one drive last week. That kind of stuff's going to eventually catch up with you. So it should be a real fun one. I'm looking forward to making the
one
trip
of the
down.
differences in Dover this year, like you said, Smyrna's a big hitter team. You add Cole to the mix at Dover, they can grind. Dover will drive down the field on you. I mean, they're not a strictly big play. They can break the big play. And when Kilby gets open, or Parker, it's usually a touchdown if they get beyond that second level. But Dover can grind the ball down the field if they have to. They started it last year late in the playoffs, and I've noticed on film they've continued this year that they do have a run game.
And again, both teams are such well-coached teams. Right? Chip Knapp's done an incredible job since heading down to Dover a few years back, and obviously we've seen the job that Coach Gene Deladon has done just through this short period of time here in 2023, especially coming off that win last week over Smyrna. Before we take a turn into our Super Sevens.
One more game.
Yep.
Hodgson at Cape and Lopin is maybe the biggest game on tap, not because it's, this could be an elimination game.
Already in week 4?
It could be. It could down the road. This could be, if one of these two teams gets eliminated, they could come back to this week and say, that's kind of where it started. Hodgson They got the big win over St. George's. We're going to find out who Hodgson is, who St. George's is. Cape has played 3 AA teams. We don't know who they are. We know that Mark James is one of the best running backs in the state.
Yep.
Let's see how Hodgson handles it. But I think these are 2 teams. These are what we're calling bubble teams. They're Cape not in the rankings. Hodgson, I think, is
towards
still
the back
end,
end, and we'll
towards
dive
the back
into
end.
it shortly.
So if you go by our rankings, these are bubble teams, and when you get down to week 11 and one of them is not in, we might be looking back at this game, and one of these 2 teams could be a 7 or 8.
Yeah, and I get Jason. I was going to out throw you the same question, almost, and just strictly in terms of 2A before we move on. Any teams in 2A that are on that bubble that need to win this week, or did Benny cover it there?
2A bubble. I'm sure there's a couple teams on it. I think they have a little bit more parity because they haven't started any district games yet. But yeah, I think there are teams that need wins.
Season getting short already, all right?
Before the season started, I did my spreadsheet early, so when we get down to the end, we can keep an eye on points.
Yeah.
And District 3, every team already has at least 10 or 12 points.
Correct.
So those guys coming through those early games, non-district games, have set themselves up either with playing up in class or winning a game, or like Laurel winning a game up in class. So all 6 of those teams right now they're 10 points or more.
It's going to be a fun season, a fun weekend as well, just around the corner. We're going to stay right here now as we dive into our Class 1A rankings, your new ones here coming into this week. We'll flash them on your screen before you. But, guys, let's dive in. At 7, First State Military, followed by Wilmington Charter at 6, Brandywine 5, 4, Polytech, St. Elizabeth's at 3, Indian River at 2, and then Tatnall at 1. Mike, anything stand out from Class 1A?
Right, Tatnall, we all know Rashawn Lamont. He's playing injured, and he's playing quarterback over there for Tatnall right now. He's kind of doing it all for them, and they're maintaining that first position. So, good to see that. We did a game there a couple years ago, and so I got a spot in my heart for Tatnall. I like to see him do well. And impressed with St. E's. The roster's not real big. The kids aren't as big as they were last year. And they're hanging right in there, Nick. And
we had a good one with them in Indian River.
Yeah, we did. I think Coach Lemon and his assistants are just doing a fantastic job over there at St. Elizabeth. And how about those Brandywine Bulldogs in at number 5? It's been a while for the Bulldogs. It's good to see.
Yeah, how about that? Super 7, guys. Let's now dive into Class 2A here. Again, Tatnall, your top-ranked team in 1A, but let's take a look now at 2A. And on the back half, it starts with a team we saw last Thursday in Red Lion. So Red Lion grabs that 7 spot. Sussex Tech, that 6 spot. Howard up to 5. DMA, after that tough test at Sussex Central, is up at number 4. Wilmington Friends, the defending champs, at 3. Laurel 2, and then sitting atop the rankings, a program that we have in the house here tonight, the Caravel Buccaneers. Benny, Jason, thoughts on Class 2A, the new rankings this week?
I think Sussex Tech going to Odessa is going to tell us something. Odessa has played Middletown. They've played Apo. So those are games that a 2A team's probably not supposed to win. Sussex Tech, undefeated. They have played Odessa the past 2 years. Anyways, they've beaten them both times. We could be looking ahead in the schedule. We could be looking at mid-season undefeated Sussex Tech team if they get through this week. And then again, I'm sorry, wrong division. I was going to say Brandywine. In the 1A, I think they're going to be a mess for people come playoff time. They're going to be a handful.
Yeah, definitely one of the teams to keep an eye on that are shaking things up here this year at Jason. Any standouts to you?
Well, Friends. I think we were waiting for a week to see Friends because their first 2 they played Tatnall in 1A. They also have another 1A team on their schedule. I think this week in Dickinson. So we're trying to find out, and the Delmar game, I think, told us a lot about this Friends team. They're going to be tough to play. Very good defensive team. Does not make many mistakes. They're not going to beat themselves.
It's like what we saw last year.
Right. The question is, are they going to have enough firepower? And I think we saw a little bit of that on a rainy Saturday, even though, like Mike said, the rain had stopped for the game, but it was wet. And I just think that the health of Tattlesall might depend on that team. McKenzie did a great job filling in, but Tattersall's such a great two-way type of player.
Something to keep an eye on long term, especially, and a big win for Friends. Again, now back up at that 3-spot, defending champs, looking pretty good here to start 2023, answering some questions last week, as Jason mentioned. Guys, now let's dive to the 3A rankings, and it starts with number 7, Appoquinimink, followed by number 6, Hodson. The Golden Knights of Sussex Central coming in at number 5. Smyrna dropping to 4. Salesianum with the big win moves up to 3. Dover 2, and Middletown still sitting atop the rankings here in Class 3. Guys, initial thoughts on this Super 7, some switch-ups. We obviously see Sally's move up a few spots there with the win over Smyrna. Mike, initial thoughts about Class 3A?
I'm impressed with Appo. They lose their big-time running back, Dan McConomy, and they win at home last week against St. George's. Yeah, they play Smyrna this week down in Smyrna. That's almost, like Benny was telling you, Smyrna still has Dover and Middletown on the schedule.
Yeah, Appo.
And this Appo game is, you can almost say it's a must-win for Smyrna.
Yeah,
and Appo's playing well. So that's a game I'm really interested. I might have to check that one out on the online after we get our game done.
Right.
But I think that'd be a really good game. Coach Timpson's doing a great job down there at Appo and missing their key, one of the best offensive players that we've seen in the state in a while. So I think Appo has been a little bit of a surprise and a really pleasant surprise.
Benny, Jason, any thing that stands out here, and also any matchups this weekend that from this class that you're looking forward to?
I think possibly from here on out, 3A rankings might be just use a Yahtzee cup. It could change around a lot. I see a lot of things that could happen. 3A is starting to look like the 2A, where anybody can. And I think Chip Knapp said it on the show.
Yeah.
Anybody can beat anybody at 3A on a given night.
That's what it's looking like. It's been a fun start to this year for Class 3A, Jay.
One of the teams that's not in our Super 7s but received a vote this week is the William Penn team that's 3-0. We'll find out a lot more when they go to St. George's next week. But that's one of those teams that's on that 3A bubble. They got off to a 3-0 start. That will help them if they can win some of these games head-to-head with these other teams. So it'd be interesting to see, how William Penn responds moving forward now. But I think they're in a good spot.
2 3-0 teams that didn't make the rankings, Cape and Lopen and William Penn.
And I was going to say both of those, and then did receive some votes here from everybody here in Buffalo Wild Wings. But again, just outside looking in just for this week. So again, after these weekend matchups that Benny and Jason alluded to, maybe they crack that Super 7 come next week. Those are definitely two teams to keep an eye on. Guys, though, we have a couple streams, as we mentioned, coming up this weekend and some good games. Benny, tell everybody where you'll be this weekend.
I have the Concord Raiders down playing the Milford Bucks. Milford's homecoming.
There we go. We're into homecoming season already.
Yeah. Jed Bell returns to Milford. This has the potential of being an exciting football game. I know talking to Coach John Wood today, he kind of looked at the East played Mount Pleasant. Milford blew them out, and Concord struggled to win. But then Milford had to escape from Delcastle. Now there was some weather up there, but there's a team that Delcastle's 14 straight losses, and Milford's on the rise. And it was 8-0 at the half, Delcastle, and Milford had to fight and claw to get out of Wilmington with a win. So I think we have makings for an exciting game. Concord's a much physically bigger team, but Milford has got some speed. They're going to have to get their athletes in space.
Yeah, you can check that one out again. Benny Mitchell and his crew on Delaware Live Sports this weekend. And guys, nor the crew for us. We have a potential few matchups, and I'll get started with the two teams here, Jay, that we have behind us here at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah, two teams that met in the semifinals last year, facing off. It's always a fun game between those two teams. I look at Archmere and everyone 1-2, but lost 34-30 against a St. Mark's team that is very good, and then they moved up the class to play them. And then Newark last week came right down to the end of the game. They ran into a hot Rogers, Marquise Rogers.
Yeah, he had a heck of a game.
We'll hear about that in a little bit.
Yeah, so but I think it's going to be an interesting game. Archmere cannot turn the ball over and cannot commit penalties. That's been their downfall in some of these games. So I think if they do those two, it could be a close game. But this Caravel team is, from top to bottom, it's going to be tough for any team to beat them.
Yeah, that's going to be a good one on Friday night. And Mike, a potential Saturday matchup, or at least maybe a potential matinee for us on Saturdays, right? Well,
Yeah, Newark and Mount Pleasant. Jason mentioned Newark, kind of I don't know if it was an upset, but they took care of Archmere last Saturday. McKeevis Rogers is a difference maker for that team. They also have some other weapons. Mount Pleasant, new coach, some new players. They had Damir Bird in the backfield for the past couple of years. He graduated, so it's kind of a new look up there for Mount. I did get a chance to see Mount against McCain for 3 quarters. They came back and won that game. It's always a fun atmosphere up there, and Nick knows. Nick Halliday, he's a Green Knight.
Green Knights.
So he knows what it's like
Stand
up
up.
there. It's a fun place to watch a game, and little high noon kickoff up there at
like
Penny
that.
Hill. So it should be. Yeah, we get to sleep in a little bit, but it's going to be a fun one Saturday up at Mount.
And again, Glenn Frazier. Where in the world will Glenn Frazier be this weekend? Shout out to Glenn and Pat.
Smyrna Apple. Yeah.
No, he's doing Dover and.
Oh no, that's right. Dover Slazeanum. Oh my, what was I thinking?
Yeah,
Dover Slazeanum.
So Dover Slazeanum as well on the slate. Glenn Frazier will have the call for that one as well
Pat's gonna be there with
this
him, right?
weekend.
Yeah,
I'll be.
Yeah, do us a favor and tune into the other games too while you're, open up a second browser.
That's
Give us
right.
some love.
Open all
I'll
three.
be roaming the sidelines at Dover Stadium, so.
We got to get you hooked up for a sideline. We got to get your mic hooked up for the sideline.
I know some people, so we can probably do that.
All right, guys, well, let's keep it moving here as we're going to close out the show with some of our last segments, and it all starts with some of our local college news and notes, and it's going to get started with Macy Bradford, the Delmar grad for the University of Maryland field hockey. 4 goals, 4 assists on the season, and 339 minutes played. Just a freshman, guys, so lighting it up there in the Big Ten for Maryland, as well as another Delmar grad here, Josie Holloman, for guess who? The Terps.
Yep.
University of Maryland field hockey, 2 goals and an assist on the season, 427 minutes. Both of those freshmen making impacts
They're cousins,
already.
yeah.
And
They're
how
cousins.
about that?
Yeah.
It runs.
And
It's in the blood.
And they're nationally ranked. I mean, they're one of the top field hockey programs in the country.
That's right, keeping Delaware on the map there in field hockey. Go Terps. We're all now fans of the Terps here in the Big Ten for field hockey. So go Maryland. And now that'll take us to our performers of the week, and we've got some good ones. And it starts, guys, with somebody that you just both referred to, and that is McKeevis Rogers from Newark.
Yeah, that was what a game.
Yeah, I mean, that was very impressive. I mean, he ran for touchdowns. He threw for touchdowns. I think he had a late interception in the game to prevent Archmere from going in.
267 rushing yards, 3 touchdowns, a passing touchdown. And in a tight game, he was like the game, like the human highlight reel.
Doing it all, like a little Cam Newton at Auburn.
Selling popcorn in the concession stand at the half, right?
And then I'll take us now to Indian River for a guy, Mike, that we had a chance to see a few weeks ago, and that is Darnell Stokes. He had a great game when we saw him against St. E's in that big top 5 matchup in Class 1, but doing big things over the weekend. 2 pick sixes, had a catch in the game, also ran the ball, 2 carries for 17 yards. 2 pick sixes. That's tough to do.
Yeah, that's enough to get you on the list. You could probably take the other stuff right off there. Indian River, that's one. Indian River's one tough team, and Nick, they got a roster that would fit with some 3A teams, and size-wise, it's almost 50 kids in that roster.
And now to another team in Class 2 that's been hot as of late, some very talented skill position players, and that's the Howard Wildcats guys. And it starts with R.J. Matthews.
R.J. Matthews said, McKeevis, whatever you can do, I'm going to do better.
That's like, can we
Give
get a
him
Newark
stats.
versus Howard matchup
Yeah.
maybe later in the year? Can we schedule that one? R.J., 14 of 21, 359 yards, 7 touchdowns, 6 through the air, 1 on the ground for R.J. Matthews, and then his teammate Jamal Johnson, 6 catches, 207 yards, and 5 touchdowns. Those are quarterback numbers. And then a punt for a 75-yard touchdown, 307 total yards for Johnson and Matthews. So really pushing up those stats in that win for Howard. A lot of talent on that Howard team. A slow start to begin the year, but they've got the bodies, they've got the talent on that roster to make a run late in the season, and that shows you there with RJ and Jamal Johnson. Then that takes us to Bree Moffitt of Smyrna. 7 goals, 4 assists on the year, but scored 4 goals in that game against Caesar Rodney back on September 19th. So, guys, some fantastic overall stats
And then last
and
night,
weeks for them.
Yeah, we got
Smyrna breaks the 120-game win streak of Delmar 3-2.
It was the talk of the social media universe
It was the buzz.
last night. Now, we have to quickly touch on it here before we get into top plays. Just initial thoughts, Jason and Mike. You guys cover field hockey as well, but what were your initial thoughts maybe coming in and then when that game was over?
Well, a couple of late goals by the other Holloman, Jody.
Jordan.
I'm sorry, Jordan. Yeah.
Jody's mom.
Jody's the coach and
Right.
mom.
all talented.
Right.
Yeah, she's very talented as well. Jordan scored 2 goals, I think, in the last 3 minutes to cut that to 3-2. But Smyrna's already beat Cape this year. Now they've beaten Delmar. So it looks like the field hockey #1 is kind of sliding north a little bit, but I wouldn't count Delmar out there. You got to lose a game once every 7 years to stay humble.
I would say we have to take the time to talk about it.
We are going to have October 20, I can't remember the date, but we will have the Delmar at Cape and Open field hockey game. We will stream that, which is going to be another good one. I mean, those two teams battle every year. I think they played regular season and they played in the conference championship that went into double overtime last year. So we'll, Glenn Frazier and I'll be there producing, but we will have that game live from Cape and Lopin.
Oh, that's going to be a good one. And again, the streak does come to an end, but we got to take time to acknowledge how big of a streak that was. Just an unbelievable streak for Delmar field hockey. So congratulations.
I know they're talented, but Jody is a fantastic coach, and she's done just a superb job down there at Delmar. And I think she's obviously had a lot of talent, a lot of it related to her, but she just does a great job. And congratulations to Delmar and Smyrna, state champion, beat Cape, beat Delmar. So congrats to the Eagles.
And again, like we said, congratulations, Delmar, on that streak, and maybe time to start another 7-year streak for Delmar field hockey.
You break one, you start another.
Exactly right. So a shout out to Delmar, but a shout out to Smyrna as well for that big win for the Smyrna Eagles. What a performance and what a victory over such an historically successful Delmar program. Well, guys, again, that'll close us out. We're going to end things with top plays here in just a minute or two, but closing words as we head out of a Buffalo Wild Wings Christiana here on a Wednesday. It was great to be back home.
It definitely was. It was good to be back, and it was a great show tonight, and it's going to be a great weekend this weekend. Might be called Separation Saturday, where some teams will start to separate themselves in point index.
Yeah, I was going to go with Separation Weekend next week, and this was going to be Gauge Weekend, kind of see where everybody's at. We're going to start seeing some. We're going to see some separation, but we're going to find. I think we're going to find a who's who in Delaware football this weekend.
It's going to be a fun weekend, Mike. What are you looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to some wild card baseball next week. But
Red October.
But before we get there, we're going to get some high school football. I'm really looking forward to my trip to Dover on Friday night, and
That's right.
I'm just so interested in seeing how Sally's and Dover match
Just remember,
up.
Mike, it's $1 toll coming down, a $3 toll going back.
Make sure that easy pass is loaded up.
Can't take that. Can't take the St. George's Bridge because it's closed.
You're right.
Well,
that's all right. I'll charge 302 Sports.
Well, that's going to do it for us here on a Wednesday night for Buffalo Wild Wings. For Nick Allison, Judy, Mike Lang, Betty Mitchell, Jason Winchell, and Nick Halliday there behind the glass. We're going to close things out with our top plays of the week. Thanks for joining us both on YouTube and Channel 28. We'll see you this weekend.